If there is a vehicle segment in the Indian automotive market that's been underrepresented for the past few decades, one of the main ones would be the hot hatch. We've had very few hot hatch products in the Indian market, genuine cars that are really good fun to drive. Tata's looking to change that with this, the Altroz Racer.
Come on, check this out.
Equipped with a turbocharged 1.2-litre engine, 6-speed manual gearbox, custom suspension, custom steering. We are driving it today at the coast track in Coimbatore and also on the road to find out whether it truly is a hot hatch, how good is it to drive, and if it is worth your money. Now the Altroz was always a good looking design, so for the racer version the changes are not that big. What you do get is dual tone colors. So you get an orange, a lovely white and a silver, and you see the top half is of course black. You get these racing stripes on the bonnet, on the roof. But one aerodynamic change that has been made is it gets a bigger spoiler at the rear. I think the body could have been a bit more aggressive, but still it's a good looking car like I said earlier, and in these bright colors it stands out and it's certain to catch your eye if you see it on the road. Let's get inside and see what changes have been made to the interior. Like on the exterior, the interior also gets customizations for the racer version of the Altroz. As you can see, the seats feature these stripes. Similarly, on the floor mats, you get these orange accents. You get a nice flat bottom steering wheel. Again, you see more orange accents that's spread throughout the cabin. One addition to the Altroz's feature list is that it now gets front ventilated seats, which are a great thing for our market. You also get a new cluster design with revised graphics. Of course, you get the 6-speed manual, and we're going to hit the track and the road to see how much fun the Altroz Racer actually is. So first up, we're out at the coast track. It's actually quite a nice track, 3.8 kilometers, lots of elevation changes, quite technical and designed to be a testing track, which means it's designed to have high-speed corners. How does the Altroz feel? Well, like I said earlier, the engine is the turbocharged unit, 118 bhp, 170 Nm, compared to a 6-speed manual. And the engine is actually quite grunty, it revs nicely. As Naren was showing us a little bit earlier, the car's been designed to be thrown around, and there have been suspension changes that have been made. What does that do? Well, it does make the Altroz Racer understeer a lot less. You can chuck it around. Weight transfer, you can feel the weight transfer. The body rolls very limited, so that way it's pretty good. And despite it featuring low rolling resistance tires, can carry a fair bit of speed through these fast corners. Steering also has a decent bit of feel, but I think where it could be better though is it could have slightly a smoother gearbox. Sometimes shifting from second to third, you can easily miss the shift. It can be a little notchy. So that's certainly something that can be improved upon. But overall, I think for the money, it's quite a capable machine. You can, of course, an Altroz is not something you would typically think of taking on track, but as this experience shows, the Altroz Racer is quite capable. But the more important test will be how does it behave when you're out on the road in traffic and just trying to get through on your everyday commute. So while we've had fun at the coast track, we'll be hitting the road now to give you a more real-world opinion of what to expect from the Altroz Racer. We've already shown you the visual changes that Tata Motors has made to the Altroz for its racer avatar. Of course, the two-tone paint job, the spoiler, little touches here and there, little touches to the interior, the detailing. And I think they've done a pretty decent job considering the Altroz is already a good-looking car. Of course, if you watch our earlier reviews of the Altroz, you are aware that it's quite a spacious machine, large boot, good ground clearance. So all of that stands, that hasn't changed. Let me focus on the changes that have been made to the Altroz in the Racer. First up, the engine. The Altroz Racer comes with the Tata's 1.2 litre turbocharged unit, 3-cylinder engine, 118 bhp and 170 Nm of torque in this variant. Interestingly, one of the changes they've made is they've tuned the exhaust sound to make it sound a lot more sportier, and it works to some extent. I mean, it's slightly louder, but not so loud that it will become annoying to you over long term. You also get the 6-speed manual gearbox. You also get a new hydraulic clutch system, tuned suspension, tuned steering. These are the majority of the changes. Of course, I've already shown you the new design of the instrument cluster. It gets new graphics, and you get the usual connectivity with Tata's Aira app. You get wireless charging, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So all of those things are standard and remain so. What do I think of the engine? Well, you can tell the minute you start it that it's a 3-cylinder unit. It has that slight distinct sound that you can tell it's not evenly balanced. But at the same time, the NVH levels are very controlled. Inside the car, there is no vibration, not on the steering wheel, not on the gear shift lever. So that works. The power delivery is also quite good. Peak torque starts at 1750 RPM. So anything above 1500, 2000 RPM, and the Altroz really picks up pace. 3-digit speeds are very, very easy to do. And I think in that way, the engineers at Tata have done a pretty good job. They've produced a linear engine that likes to rev quite high, and doing 3-digit speeds is absolutely very easy. It sounds quite decent too. So there you have to give them an advantage. The suspension setup is, you can immediately feel, because I remember the Altroz being a very comfortable car in its original guise. In the Racer one, yes, you can tell it's slightly stiffer. They've tweaked the damping. They've made other small little tweaks here and there to give it a more sort of how should I say, sporty stance. But at the same time, I mean, we've been going through roads of Coimbatore, expansion joints, some broken patches, an off-road patch to reach the coast track. It might be on the slightly stiffer side, but it's still extremely comfortable. What also helps in this case, the Altroz always had good seats. Now these new ones, the ventilation works quite nicely, and the seats are quite comfortable. So all in all, those changes are quite nice. The steering is also direct, has a decent amount of feel, but I'm not that satisfied with the steering, primarily because as you go up into higher speeds, particularly around the 100 km/h mark, the steering becomes way too heavy. So I think that is something that can definitely see improvement. The gearbox is also quite nice, but the shifts are a little notchy. Many times going from second into third can be a little fiddly. So I think that action could also be improved. Otherwise, it drives really well. And while Tata says this is the hot hatch, I would actually say it's more of a warm hatch kind of a thing. It's still sportier than a standard Altroz. You can take it to the track, throw it around. The car performs quite well. I mean, for its size, for its power, it's decently quick. If I could change a couple of things to improve the Altroz, one, I would of course work on improving the steering. I wouldn't touch the ride and suspension. I think that's very well done. Secondly, what I would also change is that instead of when you're making a sporty car, a hot hatch, a warm hatch, whatever you want to call it, and then fitting it with low rolling resistance tires, and I think on the track, what we were discussing correctly with Naren and others who were driving the car, is that the tires are a limitation, and the car can go certainly faster if it's got more stickier rubber, more performance-oriented rubber. So yeah, that would be one change I would make. I would improve the steering. Otherwise, starting at 9.5 lakhs with the space it has, practicality it has, the looks it has, and all the features that it comes with, along with the safety. I mean, again, 6 airbags are standard on all versions. There's ABS, EBD, everything else. I would say that at 9.5, it's a pretty good deal. And if you're looking for a sporty hatch at a decent budget, I think the Altroz is quite good. Could it be improved upon? Yes, but in standard form, I think it works quite well. Enthusiasts, especially the younger crowd, the college going crowd, the first, second job starting crowd, I think they would have a decent look in, and this would be a good car to drive around town. And because with its performance, you can easily take it on the highways too. So, overall, pretty good package, has all the advantages that the Altroz standard offers, adds some performance, adds some customization, and I think Tata's done a decent job. But like I said, it can always be improved upon.